Stockholm, 2024. It is late March, and I'm taking the opportunity to talk a little bit of what I'm doing, and this is special for those people who wanted to join my workshop in Budapest, and I had to cancel it due to I got sick. So I'm trying now to say a little bit about it. It was about my approach in supervision. And what I said in the abstract for doing this workshop, it was that it's difference between storytelling and narrative. And that I said also there is, for me, a difference between an artistic approach and a creative approach. So to start with the creative, a lot of people say we use creative methods or creative tools. I prefer to call my approach an artistic approach, and the artistic part for me is that it is about the process from an amateur to an artist. The process to be skillful in the profession, which I think holds for most professions, might be the same as when you think about a painter or a musician or something that sounds like some artist that call themselves artists. I think that we could rather in our profession as supervisors also apply that idea of artistry, that when we go through the process of being an amateur and from the beginning of just using a lot of tools or schedules or manuals or to learn the work from the core ideas about work, through this process we can choose to stay at the special level, or what you call it, that use the same tools or whatever, or we can choose, like the artist, to develop our own style and to really search for the unique and like the artists, be willing to change and look at the colleagues, what are they doing and how can I reach that, and it's a never-ending process actually, and it is about to be willing to start all over again as you understand that this is not working any longer, so I have to paint it over, if I use the metaphor of being a painter, as I do paint, is to just continue to be deepen the knowledge and to emerge yourself into this, what you are doing, with your body, with your perception, with everything, is so that you really through the process make it more yours, in the sense also that it connects to your core values and what you think is important in life, and unwillingness to be a person that you will be unwilling to do something else which is not fit with your grounded values and with your process. That is what the artistry, I think, is about, to find your way, awaken this, awaken your resources, your unique resources, meaning that also, like an artist are not the same. We don't want 10 Beethoven or Mozarts, we don't have 10 Picassos, we have each different styles. So in thinking artistry, we can also connect to the narrative idea about this, to challenge the normative power of being like this to be professional, because we think also that a professional is doing that and that and that. But the artist is well experienced, but put his or her own style to it. So it's not about painting only. It's about supervision, therapy, or whatever your profession is. But that you can also mix it with your personal assets and experiences. Not be afraid of being private, personal. You should be private and personal. You should do it your way. So these ideas of how to be a professional in the sense of like being little beige and not show any feelings and so on, this is not what I'm talking about. So it is the difference from approaching the profession and really jump into this challenges and that's there to become more and more skillful. And skillfulness for me in this way of thinking is understanding or getting what you should be there, what should you do there, where should you be, to not have a lot in your head but be able to improvise, as you have so many things you can draw from within, and you can be and you will be through this process. You will also be very good at seeing, perceiving, reading situations, and to be able to read the situation, to understand what am I doing here, what should I do, what should I be, or what should I add, or whatever. Through the process, you will be more present, knowing this more and more, not following rules, not think that you know in before this is what I'm going to do and this is like that. You can have ideas, of course, but the willingness to improvise, that's the state of artistry, that you know that you have enough colors, experience, you have your approach. Could be also tools and so on, of course, but it's more than just using creative tools. It's an artistic way of looking at the world and being with other people, which is also to invite them to become artists, not the same as me, not being me. Use things that I think that they might think is useful, as I look at other supervisors and artists or whatever to find ways so I can be richer in my artistic approach. But I will not be like them. I will pick things, but I will do it my way, in connection with my grounded values. And I will not, it's not something that I will give up. I will stay tuned to my what I have to do here in the world and what I want to be in my profession. So, and that could be my settings, the way I do my work, the way I talk, and there's a lot to say about that. And that brings it also into the narrative, which I would say is more than storytelling. Of course, storytelling means all over, and we tell stories all the time and so on. The narrative approach for me is, though, something more than just telling stories. It's an approach where you want to activate the storytelling in other people, but you're not holding the pen. They're holding the pen and formulate themselves for themselves. And as a supervisor, I have different ways of talking and being together with this person to activate their truth, their talent, their artistry, their stories, their grounded values. So my position as a narrative as a narrative approached person is to be leaning backwards when it comes to interpretations and things like that, but forward leaning when it comes to structure, to keep the person or the people that I meet in a certain narrative language, meaning that I will focus in activating richer stories from the thin inscriptions of who we are, from the statemental way of talking, I'm like that and so on, till what you can be and how much richer you are than the stories that you tell about yourself and that others tells about yourself. So that's a special way of being as a supervisor, and the position is so different from the idea of an expert. My expertise is not to be there more. I should set the table so that you can get in contact with your slumbering ideas, talents, experiences by the way I am talking to you and by the way I position myself. And in the narrative way, I will also, which connects with the artistry ideas, that whatever you tell me, I would like to know how does that connect to your different important values, to your intention about your life, and so on. So, like you question, what does that say to you about you? And not to understand, because people say, do you understand, you see? No, I don't. I don't understand. That's not what I'm doing here as a narrative-oriented supervisor, therapist, or person in life, because it's my lifestyle. And I'm not looking at explanations in psychological ideas and things like that. It's in the here and now. How can we co-create richer stories about ourselves, our life, and so on? So these are the different things what I say that using different than only using stories or creative tools. And also, which I will not go through much more in this improvised video, it's how I apply this in something that I call life staging, which is a isomorph or congruent application of these ideas, and I will talk more about that in another video. So now I say this is the narrative artistic approach, which results, what to say, in other settings of doing supervision. We're not sitting on chairs and reflecting only. It is possible to do that, but most of all, we co-create pictures by using the people in the group, and reflections, not so interesting, resonance, so we can involve ourselves and give to one another the more personal and awaken what we have, both what we have universally in common with other people, because there's a lot of human experience that are shared between people, but also our unique artistry. So that is what I wanted to say today.